He does all the time.
That's wonderful.
Don't worry about it.
That guy thought he could be president.
Who?
George Bush. And he is. He was. He
gotta
is.
believe.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, well.
Let's bring in right now the author of So You Think You Could Be President, Iris Burnett. Iris, thank you for being with us.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
It's been a few years.
Yes. Don't go there.
Yeah. Well, very good
She
to
worked
have
with
you
my
here.
dad.
Carter administration
I did, Carter
stories.
administration.
Yeah.
I was 7.
Well,
You were 10. I must have been 12.
you were 12, exactly. So talk about your book. Why did you write it? What are we going to see when we look inside?
Well, you're going to see a very entertaining, very funny introduction to to the overwhelming job it is to be the President of the United States.
It is insanely tough. That's why Willie's thinking about doing it.
Are you doing
But
it?
you're sitting at, what about the background problems? I've had a very dark and sordid personal life. You think
don't
that'll come back to haunt me?
Yes, I do, but
It
I
will.
wouldn't worry about it.
I'm very worried. Let's look at some of the examples. These are multiple choice questions. You have 200 of them, is that right, in the
Well,
book?
they're not all multiple choice. Some are true and false, and some are fill in the blanks, but
Ooh,
yes.
False.
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 Joe likes the 50-50 chance. Let's look at some of these. All right, here's one. Question, ask yourself this if you want to be president. When did you decide you wanted to be president? A, your fellow classmates elected you to a high school office. Good place to start. B, after college, your parents told you to find something to do. C, during the senior prom, you preferred the limo to the masses outside.
That's a test.
That's a good one.
That's
And D,
Check.
after seeing the history of the world, you realized president is the closest thing you could get.
Willie,
to
what's your
being
answer?
king.
Come on, Willie.
I think it started in high school for me.
Yeah?
I became a believer that I could be the president of this great land.
Were you
It's
a
all about
student
the
class
scoring.
president or something?
No. Again, the personal problems came back to haunt me.
They started early.
In the general election, they hurt me.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
he
I'm
didn't run
sorry.
things in the jail cell.
No.
Well, Joe, maybe you could be president.
I don't think so.
Do you
He
think-
went as far
maybe
as
you
he's
ought to-
gonna go.
Do you want to give him a quiz?
No, I feel confident that if he wants to be the president and he reads the book, that he'll feel confident enough to run.
Of course he will.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we talk about the people that are running right now, the current crop?
Crop.
Do
Yes.
they pass muster? Could they be?
Well, you know,
President?
they haven't submitted their answers to me, but my guess, Hillary and Barack both do have the book, so I'm
Well, do they?
I'm awaiting their answers. Yes, indeed.
Now, when you worked in the Carter White House, were you overwhelmed when you first got there by just how difficult this job is?
No.
Pretty easy. Nothing to it.
You know, the job is very difficult. The job of being president is very difficult, but I think if you have a sense of humor about how you operate in government, that it's much easier to be successful. So that's what I determined I needed to do, is just to continually have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Do you see any of these three candidates being more qualified based on your test here than the
Based
other?
on my test, I would say that the candidate, again, with the sense of humor, and the one who has the clearest vision, and who is the most inspirational, is the person that I would go for.
So
Who has the best sense of humor among the crowd? Who has, when you watch TV, when you see the screen, who has that sense of humor? That just sort of that gleam in his eye that breaks
Or
up
hers,
a room,
or hers, yeah.
like Jimmy Carter, say, did
He had a gleam
in
in his eye.
1979 when he gave the Malaise speech.
Yes.
Which
Okay,
one?
cut it out.
I think Pat Goodell had a gleam in his eye. I don't know about Jimmy Carter.
Are we blaming Pat for that speech?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but who has the best sense of humor of the group?
Well, you know, I think they all have a good sense of humor. I think you have to have a sense of humor to go through what they're going through. And let's be honest, you know, where could you spend as much money and have as little fun as on a campaign trail? How much have they spent totally? Like $250 billion.
It's a miserable process.
And they're not having any fun.
Yeah.
And being president of the United States, not a blast. We were talking about it last night. Over the next 4 years, how would you like to be president of the United States?
Yeah.
Over the next 4 years.
You know, you have your
bloodshed
own limo, you get to call the chef in the middle of the night, you take those 3 a.m. phone calls, you don't know who they're coming from, but you could get lucky.
It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, is it?
I don't know. Whenever I went to the White House, I always felt like, wow, I'm at the White House. And it never ended, you know? I never stopped.
That's good. So the excitement was there all along.
The excitement was always there.
It is an amazing place
Because
to
we
work.
were grateful to be, you know, in power as Democrats.
Yeah. What was the highlight of your years working in the White House?
The highlight of my years was probably I'm not Monica Lewinsky. Probably the women's conference. That was great fun.
Was it?
Yes. Well, 35,000 women and 7 days of rain was just to die for.
I
I wish I would have been there, Willie.
Just a laugh riot.
But I was playing T-ball. All right, Iris Burnett, thank you
And
so
thank you for the
much.
birthday
Can we talk about where you could get it?
I'm going to go through
I'll
this.
give you the questions.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, here's the question.
Okay.
Where can you buy this book?
Where can you? Amazon.com?
Amazon.com.
Okay.
Barnes & Noble order it. Go into the store, insist they order it. Our website, so you think you can be president.com.
Ooh.
All of the above.
Okay.
All the above.
And
All of the above.
of course, you can read the chapter on selecting senior officials and the cabinet, or what is an intern really supposed to do?
You know, here's the good news.
Yay.
Here's the good news
All
for
right.
the Democrats.
Yeah.
The longer the campaign goes on, the older John McCain gets.
There
and
you go.
And I mean that in the
You said
nicest
it.
possible
In the nicest possible
Okay,
way.
that was-
All right, Iris Burnett, thank you. Coming up next,
Thanks very
we'll get
much.
Chris Matthews' take.
Oh, we definitely need to talk to him because life's a campaign when it comes to
Life
Chris
is a
Matthews.
campaign. He does. All right, we'll be right back with Chris Matthews when we return. Thank you, Iris.